Pains of Being Pure at Heart are an indie pop band from New York. They were formed in 2007 and they're still going despite having a short break at one point. They have released 6 albums so far. Their most recent, at the time of recording this intro, was in 2025. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of. Yes, it's a recording. It's a review of the album "The Pains of Being Pure at Heart" by the band "The Pains of Being Pure at Heart," which was their first album, which was released in 2009, and it's my first encounter with them. So I've never heard this album before. Um, so I've just listened to it a couple of times, as I do for the review. I've done a bit of reading in between those two listens, and here we go. I'm going to give you my thoughts. So I kind of indie rock, I think, is where I would label this. I think that it's got maybe kind of shoegazy elements, more dream pop elements in here. It's it's not full on either of those, basically, I think. So we've got bands here, we've got guitar, bass, drums, apparently some keyboards. I'm not sure I really spotted keyboards, or spotted's the wrong word, heard keyboards. We've got two singers singing, so we've got a male lead and a female backing for that. So there's, if you've noticed the score that I've given this, it's not a great score, and you'll have got from that. I didn't really like it that much, so we're going to pick into why that is. So first of all, we've got lo-fi recording. That's not always a bad thing, but it's something that I approach with caution. It feels quite live, which some people will like as a result. And the playing's quite loose, which means they're not kind of playing tightly in time with each other. For me, it wasn't in a particularly good way. So there are some styles of music and some things where loose playing can work really well. I'm thinking of things like jazz and reggae, for example. But I didn't feel like it particularly worked here. The biggest problem that I had, I think, was that it's dominated by this overdriven guitar. Um, so I call this a curtain of guitar, which is where you've got an electric guitar, it's overdriven, and you go and you produce a chord, and basically you've got a constant noise of chord. You can change chord, but you don't stop it at all, and you just get this big washy sound of guitar, which is what this has for almost all the tracks, and it's particularly been a thing of indie rock, and is one of the things that because I've noticed it and I kind of didn't like it, is then amplified itself as a thing that it drives me a little bit mad. Um, and then we've got the dream-like vocals, so they're quite low in the mix, and they're not totally dream vocals, but they're reverbed and they're not hugely engaged, so the way that it's sung doesn't have a huge amount of expression in it. And then on top of all this, there's occasionally some jangle guitar added as well, usually on top of that guitar curtain. The songs are about, well, I didn't really pick up on what they were about because they're so low in the mix. I did pick up on Teenager in Love. It's probably my favourite track, partly because it has a different feel musically, but partly because some of the lyrics do come through and they're a bit kind of curious, interesting, not really sure what to make of them, which often is quite a good thing, I think. The male vocals, particularly, in some ways reminded me of Morrissey, but I think that's not the tone of the voice. It's more the kind of the form of the tunes that were being used. There were other bits that had both the male and the female in it. I thought, that reminds me of something, and I couldn't work out what the heck it was that it was reminding me of. So we've got, as I said, I didn't like it very much. We've got dreamlike vocals. I'm not usually a fan. I've heard some stuff where I thought that worked. The indie guitar washy background, which I rarely like and often kind of puts me off. We've got a lo-fi aesthetic, which it has to work for something. It has to add something or give it a particular element, which I didn't feel it particularly did on this album. So all in all, I would say that's a perfect trifecta of things that I don't like. It's not the worst thing ever, and I thought maybe I've never given a spot on 5. So just a quick window into my scoring. I'm guessing I'm kind of, a lot of people would use a similar kind of scoring thing, but um, I have various cutover points. 5, if it's below 5, then it would be something that I would probably might ask somebody to take off because it's unpleasant. And if it's above 5, then it has some value to it. But up to about 6.5, that's kind of, I'm not really feeling very strongly about it. Above 7, my thing is that if I might choose at some point in my life to go back and listen to it, it's probably a 7 plus. And if I feel really strongly that, well, not even really strongly, if I feel like I would quite like a copy of this, then that's 8 plus. And then 9 plus is for Genius albums. Okay, so it could be worse. Mostly it didn't actually irritate me too much, but mostly it didn't really impact me. And there were enough things about it that, with these 3 elements, that I didn't like it. I'm guessing that these 3 elements are things that some people will absolutely love it. So if you like those 3 things, particularly lo-fi, curtainy guitar, dreamlike vocals, then this could be a beautiful album for you, just not for me. So I would like to know what you think of this album. And the easy way of letting me know is to just leave me a comment on the channel. That would be great. Please do that. But that's it from me for now.